Hey yo, this is your boy Sirr of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. And I got a question. What do you do it for? Do you do it for the likes? Do you do it for family? Or do you do it just to be seen? Well, how about this Black History Month? You do it for the culture. That's right. Our family here at Shop Black Renaissance has decided to be the official sponsor of the 2020 Podcast LLC. So do me a favor. Whenever you go to shopblackrenaissance.com, I need you to use the promo code LLC20 so you can get 20% off your order. Yep, that's it. Doing it for the culture all year. Thank you, Shop Black Renaissance Clothing.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can't see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live. It's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Sirr of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. And today I have a special guest, a duet of entrepreneurship. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kay ZE Konceptz is in the building. How are y'all doing today?
Hi. Great. How are you?
How are you? I can't complain. I can't complain. Nobody want to hear that. They want to hear about you. So in that sense, could you guys introduce yourselves and just tell the world what it is that you guys do?
Well, I'm Carissa, and
I'm Candace.
And basically we make children's books, and yeah, so far yeah.
We make children's books that kind of inspire kids to do the right thing.
Right.
Like we teach them about microaggressions and different aspects of bullying that you don't really see in other books, especially when it comes to us. So we try, and that's the goal in this book, is to basically teach kids at a younger age how to treat people right, so that we won't have a repeat of privileged individuals acting how they want to act towards us, or in general. Like, we all saw what happened on the 6th. So, I mean, realistically, had someone taught them early, maybe this wouldn't happen. We don't know. However, we can do our part to try. So that's our goal.
I appreciate that. I like that mission, making a difference. So my next question kind of goes into you guys' relationship. How long have you guys been actively in business together?
Actively in business together, we would probably say about 6 months.
Yeah,
about 6.
All right. One thing I did notice, and maybe this coincided with you guys going into business with each other, is that this pandemic put people in a position where you had to kind of internalize and reassess everything. Some of the things we took for granted, we didn't have the opportunity to. A lot of people, lost income, lost jobs, things had to change. So being able to adapt and realizing this was the prime opportunity to go into business with each other is kind of awesome, all things said. So congratulations to you guys. May you guys get 6 more months and 6 years and 60 years, all that.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's all mine. Now, my next question is just going to kind of dive into what got you guys started. So what inspired you guys specifically to start Kay ZE Konceptz?
Well, honestly, one day Candace just started writing. She has always been really good with the pen. So she started writing, but then as Black Lives Matter protests started popping off, then she started shifting gears into more of an anti-bullying type of thing. And then she talked to me because I draw, I'm an illustrator, and she wanted me to basically add pictures to it. And then we kind of just came together and we were like, hey, this works.
And it was like,
Right.
It's so cool because we're sisters. So when I'm explaining to her what I'm seeing behind my words, she was able to give me like a visual masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like it was like a in sync thing, if you will, because we just have a vibe together. It's our energy. Like, you know what I mean? So she understands me, I understand her, and it came together and it worked out for the best. Like,
okay. Kind of like a sisterhood synergy. It sounds like you guys are able to feed off each other and create together. I think that's amazing because one of the things that we've talked about on the podcast is the presence of God is in creation together. Just the concept of you having a thought, Candace, and then you being able to hear and see what she was writing and to create the image that you both can coincide into. It's amazing. It's nothing short of divinity. So congratulations to y'all. A lot of people strive for that, so good work.
Thank you.
All right. So my next question is kind of like the inverse of that, because it wouldn't be fair to not show both sides of entrepreneurship, because for every high, there's a low. So were there any obstacles that you guys encountered along the way of being business owners?
Honestly,
that exhale though.
with me, there was definitely a point where I started to doubt myself personally. Because I'm realizing a lot of the time we are our own worst enemy. So there was a point where I was drawing, and normally I'm really good at drawing on paper, but I had to shift to digital art. But the tablet that I had gotten at the time was it wasn't up to date.
It was janky.
It was janky.
Yes.
So in my mind, I just thought I couldn't draw anymore. And I've been drawing my entire life. So I had a meltdown. She will tell you. I had a meltdown.
It was scary, It was an isolated meltdown. She was in her room, but I could hear her through the wall. It was like, okay, all right, let's reassess this. What's going on? She was like, I can't draw anymore. I don't know. Does he just take it away when you don't use it? And I was like, who? She's like, God, does he just take it away? And I'm like, no, just try again. Let's see what's going on. And then found out the device she bought was something she didn't even need, because the computer she had was a touch screen and you can just draw on the screen. The device had her drawing on the side of the screen and looking at the screen elsewhere. So of course it's going to be difficult. How can you draw it and look over, like, it makes no sense. So it wasn't her. It was just an obstacle that she put in her own way. She went out and purchased this device and then had her questioning and doubting herself.
Yes. My roadblocks were all kind of mental. Sometimes the roadblocks are within yourself.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So according to what you're saying, a lot of times we have the tools necessary to achieve our dreams. We just block ourselves by thinking negatively.
Yes.
Somebody felt that. They just listened to that. I'm telling you. All right. So that leads me to my next question. With you guys being sisters, with you guys being business owners, one of the things that people don't really get into is how tough it can be to balance work and your personal life. How have you guys found, the way to do it? Or if you guys haven't perfected it, because I know I haven't, how are you striving to get better at it?
Okay, so for me, I guess, I'm gonna be honest, when we really dove into this, it was after I was terminated from a job that I had been working for. I would drive 2 hours to get there, 2 hours to get home, work the 8-hour shift in between, and I would be so tired. And I didn't have enough time to really honestly balance it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would be like, I'm too tired. I can't write tonight. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that was prior to. So it took me maybe a couple weeks before I actually was like, let me set some time aside. I have to put some time aside for myself, right? And I did that. And then shortly after that, ended up getting fired. And it gave me, first I was depressed, not gonna lie. I was like, dang, I gave them everything, my everything and all my time and stuff. And time is something you can't get back. So it makes you really sit there. And it's like, okay, I give you my time and all you can do is just terminate me. And it's like, okay, wow, had I invested all that time that I was using for them into us, we wouldn't be here. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have been a struggle in that moment. Like, but instead, I guess you could say once I realigned myself and I was like, all right, you know what? That's fine. It gives me more time to focus on what we got going on. Mm-hmm. Instantly, things just started coming together. And it was just like, oh, you needed that push. Because me, I'm one of those people, I will work a job till I can't work it anymore. I've always been that person. So she ended up telling me that, like, hey, you know, I knew it was going to happen at some point that we're going to have to fire you because you would have stayed on. And they fired me because I was sick. Not because whatever, but because I was sick. So it was just like, you don't even care about my health and I'm giving you my time, something that I literally can't get back. So find that balance regardless. Always invest into yourselves, because if you don't find that balance, some job will just take you for what you are. And you know what I mean? Like, use you up until they can't use you anymore. So that was how I found balance for me. For her, I don't know.
For me personally, right now, it doesn't feel like I'm working because I love what I'm doing. I love drawing. I love going to school. I like doing it. So it doesn't feel like work. But there are some times when I get burnt out. And honestly, if I'm working for too much straight, then I can take maybe about a month off nowadays if I want to. I might not, but at least I have the option to. So sometimes I'm just on and off. So
it helps. And I'll say, with like piggybacking off of her, when you work like a 9 to 5, or for me, an 8 to 5 plus the hours it took me to get there, it's like you don't have that option to call off. Like I told you, I was sick. Right. And so for me to need to call off, and I was sick because they wouldn't wear their masks. And this is why masks are important, people. Right. But so they wouldn't wear their mask, and I was getting sick, and they couldn't even give me enough time to just take off and get myself together. So they fired me before, you know, I could get better. So working for myself, I have the time to take off mentally. Like if I'm having a moment where I'm having a meltdown or whatever, I can take a moment to the side. I can't do that working for somebody else. They don't care about you. You know what I mean? Like, right. And I realized that more and more. And it's like, no, you should have been investing in yourself, because not only when you invest in yourself, you build a brand, you start building generational wealth in these things. It's important. And I can't do that while I'm trying to build somebody else's generational wealth. It's taking a toll. You know what I mean? So that's right.
Hey, that's awesome that you came to that conclusion, you know. And sometimes the way things work, when the term is loyal to a fault. You know, when we're loyal to things that aren't loyal to us, they will rear their ugly heads at the slightest inconvenience. And in a way, I'm happy that it happened. That way you didn't give your life to a job that didn't care about you, you know, especially with you know.
Exactly.
You know? So I'm glad that it occurred, you know, because it sounds like you're now in a place where you're happier just from what you're saying. So I really think that speaks to you, a lot of people listening. Another thing, mental health is big. No matter where you're working with your passion or working for a 9 to 5 to get to your dream. You both stated that if you needed to take time off, you can. And the contrast between your stories with Candace, you stating that, you know, this job wouldn't allow it. And you gave so much with driving there and with, and that's an expense that a lot of us don't really think about, with some of us working from home, because I do. Gas. And it's not cheap, you know.
California, especially.
I've seen the billboards. But it just puts things in perspective that, you know what, at the end of the day, the constant is you. So put yourself first. So I'm glad you got that life lesson, and look at you now. That's all I can say. Look at you now.
Thank you.
All right. So my next question is kind of like an overall question. It's kind of highlighting those moments that you sit back and you're like, yeah, this is why I do it. So over these last 6 months, has there been one experience that's been like, you know what, this is that moment. This is why I'm glad I'm an entrepreneur.
You want to talk about it?
Well, basically, about a month ago, when we finally finished the book, we showed our godparents. We're
bonus. We call them bonus family, but they're like godparents. They've been on every emergency contact list or anything that we've had growing up, living out here and everything. So they aren't formal godparents, but they might as well be because they've
right
done more than
once you're on the emergency contact list, you're godparents.
You're godparent, point blank period.
So basically, we showed them the book, and they were so ecstatic. But we're so glad we showed them in time because our godfather had passed recently
due to COVID. So it was like, basically, we showed it to them, we read it to them, and they smiled from ear to ear, just grinning, prideful. Just, look at my babies, you know, just so proud. And he was like, you have to get this out. You have to get this out to the people because this will help kids, and this will help kids not go through what his daughter, our sister, went through growing up. So, and her also. So he was adamant about getting it out. And I was just so happy that we got the chance to actually let him read it because they were the first people that got to read the completed book. Like, we had people along the way that peeked in to see how it was going, but actually showing someone our completed book, it was them. And to know that he was so happy and so proud of us means everything because on December 19th, he passed away from COVID. So once again, wear your masks, people, because it's important. So knowing that we have that moment to share between us with how he reacted and how he responded and also how she responded, like, it means everything. It means everything because it was the right people to show. They were supportive. They were loving, just meant the world. Means the world still because
like there's
we don't
no
get
words
to see him
describe
again.
it.
Yeah. So definitely the most memorable part.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I do apologize for your loss, and I'm glad that you are speaking, your truth and telling, the reality of the situation we're in, because a lot of people are in denial just because they don't feel sick. They feel like it's not real, but it's definitely irresponsible to not think of your fellow man enough to, do your part. So thank you for highlighting that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No problem. Now, my next question. Of course, as you could tell from previous question, I like to do the high and low method, to show both sides of the coin. So at any point did you guys feel like you wouldn't be successful? And if so, who or what changed your mind?
To be honest, we didn't feel like we wouldn't be unsuccessful because we showed the right people first.
Exactly.
I feel like showed certain people before
we showed them, it would have put a halt on everything. But because we had that foundation and that support, like real support, it made a difference because it made us know, hey, we got something here. It literally lit a fire, if you will. So for us, that was a determining factor. We felt like,
it's important to have a good network of people around you.
Facts. It's your circle is important. I'm with that. It's also key with the type of people that you have in your circle as well. You want to have people that are striving for success as well, but you also want someone that can be like an anchor, kind of like a mentor to you. I just got through speaking about having someone who's further along the path than you. That way, when you're going through the motions and going through the, I'm not sure moments, you have someone that's like, yo, I've been there. You're good. Keep going. Someone just to give you those words that you need. So kudos to y'all, having the wherewithal to show that, hey, everybody don't need to know, So that part.
Moving silence. Yep. That's definitely. We learned that. So.
All right. So my next question is my infamous question because it's the long-term question. So if you need a moment to get it, going, I get it. I will edit it out. So
okay. Thank you.
Where would you guys like to see yourselves as a writer, as an illustrator, as Kay ZE Konceptz,
Mhm.
in 1 year, in 3 years, then in 10 years?
Okay. So as an author and part of Kay ZE Konceptz,
Mhm.
my goal is to have at least 2 more books out this year.
Mhm.
We want to have a book, so if not 3. Okay, that's the goal for the year, and that way we can start to build.
Candace, could I get you to say it
like that's
again?
our goal. We want to make changes.
It fluctuated. You had frozen for about 10 seconds. So I know you was talking. I'm just gonna have you start over again. I'm so sorry.
Okay, cool. No problem. All right. So in a year, as an author and as a part of Kay ZE Konceptz, my goal is to have at least 2 more books out this year, if not 3. We want to have a full-on book series at some point, but at least for now, 2 more books, if not 3, for the next year. That way we can start to create generational wealth. And then from there, 3 years from there, want to have maybe like even a cartoon series out. You know what I mean? Because this is something that can teach kids in actual time versus them having to go purchase a book, read through it or whatever. You know what I mean? Books are awesome, but a lot of kids like cartoons. So why not throw a series out there that shows kids how to actually treat us, like how your movements affect one another? Because obviously people don't understand that and they don't believe that. So to have a cartoon series out and to actually have the company up and running smoothly where we can now give people jobs and we can help others. Like the goal overall is to help others. So if we can have a company that actually treats people right, you don't feel well, okay, I understand that. Take some time, get yourself together. Like I want to be that type of employer versus what I've dealt with all these years. So that's important to me. And then in 10 years, like I said, overall goal is to help. I want our business to be fully established. And of course, we'll have other things that we do in the process because I know she wants to do other things with life as well. But as a starting point for this company in the next 10 years, want it to be fully established. Okay. I want to have generated enough income to where now I can give back to the community. And what's something that's important to me is I have allergies. I have a lot of allergies. I have severe anaphylactic shock reactions to peanuts, tree nuts, seafood, and shellfish. I can't have any of that. Yeah, you're in Mobile. You already understand. Right. So you got all seafood everywhere. So I can't have any of that. Growing up, I didn't have an EpiPen. EpiPens cost $660. Right. My family couldn't afford that. So my goal 10 years down the line will to be established enough to be able to give back at least $1 million a year towards children that don't have access to EpiPens, because it sucks to not be able to afford to save your own life. Right. So that's something that I want to do. I want to have a charity that is able to give literally $1 million worth of EpiPens out. And of course, you'll have to go through the paperwork, so I know that you legit need this EpiPen, but that is the goal. Like, help someone else save their life. Like, your life is not too expensive. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that's important to me. And then for her, I mean.
Oh, for me, well, for me, my 1-year plan would be to actually have my graphic design business started up. Okay. Honestly, a lot of my plans did kind of fall through due to COVID because we kind of all had to course correct. Right. So, like, for example, I thought 5 years from now, I was going to be living on my own with my own car, doing this, doing that. And then I guess when you make too many plans, God kind of like laughs at you a little bit, not gonna lie. Yes. So right now, that's what I'm doing. And then 3 years from now, I'm hoping to, yes, still have the cartoon up and running because I've always wanted to create a cartoon. I always wanted to star in a cartoon. That was the main way that I learned a lot growing up because it was like a visual representation of life in general. Right. And then 10 years, I also want to do a charity, but I want to have a woman's shelter for women and their children to go and stay as long as they want to, because I know that a lot of women are put in abusive situations. A lot of them just do not know how to get out. They don't have a way, and they're worried about money. They're worried about where their kids are going to stay. And I want a safe space where they don't have to worry about someone beating them, somebody attacking them at night.
She wants to create a safe place within that space for them. So kind of goes hand in hand with our book. It's called A Safe Place. Like, we want to make the world a safe place. So what better to do than start with women who give life, you know what I mean? Like literally you birth out a child and you're worried about a kid. Where's my child gonna lay their head? How am I gonna keep them safe? And her idea is amazing to me, because a lot of shelters, they kick you out after a certain point of time. To have one where it's like, no, look, I will help you until you don't need my help anymore.
Yes.
I think that's dope. Like, yeah.
Very humanitarian. I would love to see that come to fruition. And when it does, because I'm going to speak it into existence with you, I would love to do another interview with you guys.
Of course.
So,
of course. Thank you.
Excellent aspirations. I love to hear people have plans, and while they're working on a dream, they have another dream ready, to keep going. You never want to quit. You always want to find yourself pursuing something, have a purpose in everything and all things you do. So kudos to y'all, man. All right. So my next question is my wrap-up question, and this has been a spectacular interview. So the hardest thing in the world to do is pursue a dream and share that dream with the world. What words of encouragement would you have for someone who have an idea, but they're afraid to act on it?
Honestly, the best thing to do is to just start. Even if it's not anything extravagant, like me, for example, when I started drawing again, just like a 5-minute quick little sketch one day, and then just leave it aside. And then the next day, maybe 10 minutes a day, if you want to. But the hardest part about starting is starting.
Yeah,
it's true.
So yeah, just get up,
actually start.
And do it.
And then to piggyback on her, once you've started, set aside that time, invest that time back into yourself. Because if you don't invest that time into yourself, who will? All you're doing is giving your time to other people. Start and keep going. Set the time, make the time happen. You can make the time to scroll through social media or whatever. Make the time for yourself, because honestly, who wants to work the rest of their life for somebody else and not have anything to look back on, to show your kids and be like, yo, I did this. This is what I'm proud of. This is what we are. This is who we are as people. This is how we want the world to be. Like, make a change, make a difference. So once you start, keep going and value yourself. You know what I mean? Value yourself and your time.
That is. Ladies, if anyone wanted to support or contact you, whether it be a business inquiry or they just may have questions about starting a business, where could you guys be reached?
We can be reached on our Instagram page, which is Kay ZE Konceptz, Z with a Z at the end. And then our email is k.z.e.conceptz@gmail.com.
I will make sure that in the description that information is there for everyone, because I understand the Z's, the E, they
sound alike, especially with the masks on.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be highlighted on our platform. Like I said, you could have said no in that email, but you chose to be here with us and share your experiences with our listeners. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate that. Like, it's nice to know that someone wants to display us, like wants to put us on as, I'm not talking about us, but as us, like you actually want to support our community and give back. And I love that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. And with that being said, Kay ZE Konceptz, go and support the book. Oh, where can they they get the book if they want to buy it?
Amazon. Oh my gosh, Amazon. We have paperback and we have the ebook, like the Kindle version.
All right. So look.
On Amazon. Yes, I'll give you the link and everything.
Yeah. So
Oh.
that's in the description as well. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Another episode of A Business Minute. Kay ZE Konceptz. It's your boy, Sirr, the 2020 Podcast LLC, and we are